Hey everybody, I'm John. I collect cards. I hope you're doing well. It is Tuesday, January 30th. We're a week since the Hall of Fame announcement came through last week. So the Hall of Fame is kind of in the rear view right now, but I've been kind of thinking about doing this quick little video. So last Tuesday night, or maybe the day after, I was texting with a couple of some of my oldest friends who aren't actually in the hobby, but they've collected, I think, in the past, growing up and stuff, but they're not actively in the hobby. Kind of about the Hall of Fame, and one of my friends mentioned that he didn't think Joe Mauer passed the kind of the smell test for being in the Hall of Very Good, so to speak. Like, he thought maybe he wasn't quite up to snuff for the Hall of Fame. In fact, I think they both thought that Todd Helton maybe was a little more worthy than Mauer. Maybe about the same. And I was actually kind of disagreed. I was thinking, and I still do, I think Mauer definitely is Hall worthy. I wasn't sure he was going to make the first ballot. I was pretty surprised he did, actually. And Helton eventually did manage to get in. I actually think Helton was a little bit more of a borderline case. Even though his stats are great, they are padded from playing where he played in Denver for half of his career. And the latter half of his career, he tailed off quite a bit, kind of like Don Mattingly did back in the day. I've heard a few comparisons to Don Mattingly with Helton, even though Helton played longer. But back to Mauer. Mauer truly excelled, especially for being a catcher for, his, kind of like a 5-year window, maybe a 6-year window, with 3 batting titles, with really high batting averages that you just don't see. So he had some exceptional seasons, with a career batting average above 300. He didn't get to play in the World Series, so that maybe for some maybe hurts his cause, or could have hurt his cause, but clearly it didn't. So one also aspect of Mauer's career that really kind of got to me was, I believe it was 6 seasons in his career, he drew more walks than had strikeouts. And to me, that's a stat that resonates with me. If you're a hitter and you can rack up more walks, non-intentional walks in particular, so, Barry Bonds, I'm kind of looking at you as, legendary as you were in terms of your career and everything. The intentional walks were kind of a joke after a while. Sorry, a little opinionating there, but I think the walks and strikeouts, kind of thing for a hitter, if you can consistently walk more than strike out, I think that says something. It's kind of an old school kind of way of looking at stats. Just for me, it's a way of getting on base. It's a way of making contact, putting the ball in play. And those are some kind of old school things that, I still carry with me as a baseball fan that I like to see. And, with all the soaring strikeout totals of the last, 20, 30 years, it is what it is. It's that kind of game now. It's still, the game I love the most in terms of the major sports we have. But I wanted to sort of do a little dive through a few cards of some players out there who have walked more than struck out over the course of their careers. And I just thought it'd be a fun little thing to do. And I might actually do a little occasional theme series on this. But let me turn the phone around and I'll show you a few cards real quick of players, most of these Hall of Famers, who walked more than they struck out in almost every season they played. Okay, so here I'm going to show, it's 7 players maybe of a couple of cards, or one card of each of these players. Again, just as examples of a way to sort of show some cards. But here are some players who have played almost their entire career in every season, walked more than they struck out. And again, that just kind of resonates with me. The leader in this is Carl Yastrzemski. Carl Yastrzemski, and again, I'm getting these numbers, by the way, from an old article on the Fangraphs website from 2012, but I'm showing nothing but vintage era players here for the most part, so it still applies. But Carl Yastrzemski, I'm assuming he's still the all-time leader in this. He played of all his seasons, 18 seasons, he walked more than he struck out. That's 86% of his qualified seasons where he had enough plate appearances to qualify for the batting title. So of qualified seasons, 86% of his seasons, 18 of them in all, He walked more than he struck out. So I just thought I'd show a 63 card here and a 78. Again, this is just an opportunity to show a few cards here. I have nothing new to share on this video, like in terms of a recent pickup, but again, this has been kind of a thing that was kind of, not grinding my gears per se, but just sort of like, I remember one of my friend, one of them was mentioning, and again, we go back decades, was like, if you have to explain it, then it makes all the difference as to why, he shouldn't be in, kind of a thing. So, he's a small haul guy, and I actually lean towards smaller haul myself. But, with Mauer, it was like, I just think he had a very, very strong career for his position. If he didn't play catcher, if he was an outfielder or a first baseman or something like that, then he's much more borderline. But the fact that he was a catcher for, not his entire career, but for as long as he was, says something. Says a lot, actually. But next on the list, and I'm not showing cards of every player on this list because it would just take too long, but I'm going to show a link. There's a link in the description to this, again, very old article from 2012, if you are interested in some of these other players who played all these seasons who walked more than struck out. But Joe Morgan accomplished the feat for 17 seasons. And according to this site, it's 100% of his career. Every season, he walked more than he struck out. Joe Morgan. I like the 67 card of him a lot, by the way. It's a real nice shot of him. And then at 16 seasons, Stan the Man. 16 seasons, 100% of his seasons, qualified seasons. 100% of his qualified seasons, meaning, again, had enough plate appearances to qualify for the batting title. Stan the Man walked more than he struck out in every one of those years. Here's two cards of Stan. Good stuff there. And then another one on this list, 14 seasons, Paul Waner, going back a ways. There's a Diamond Stars card that I picked up last year at the National. I bought it raw. It came back authentic. But I still like having this card quite a bit. Here's another opportunity to share it. Actually, I have his brother's card too, Lloyd Waner, although he is not on this list from what I could tell. But he's another Hall of Famer and a very good hitting outfielder for many years for Pittsburgh. Also at 14 seasons, Nellie Fox. I mean, and if you look at some of these stat lines of these players, like Nellie Fox struck out like 20 times in a season, or maybe 25 or 30. I mean, these guys didn't just had more walks than Ks. Some of these guys barely struck out at all. I mean, Nellie Fox probably goes down as one of the best contact hitters in the modern era of the game. So, especially of one who's in the Hall of Fame. So, Nellie Fox there from 59 Tops. And then another one who probably gets overlooked a lot among just great hitting Hall of Famers, Richie Ashburn. 100% of his qualified seasons, 13 in all, walked more than he struck out, and he had a few batting titles to boot. Great hitter. There's a card from 61 Tops when he was with the Cubs near the end of his career, and then his 54 Tops, which is this is actually my highest graded Hall of Fame card in my 54 Tops set. Got him at a 6.5, which I was pretty excited about. And then I'm going to show just one more player and call it a video. Also on this list, 13 qualified seasons, 100% of his qualified seasons, 13 of them. And he played maybe longer than this, but maybe not too much longer. So I guess his last few maybe didn't qualify. And it's one of my favorite Yankees back when I was growing up. Although this picture of him is not with the Yankees. Willie Randolph, Pirates rookie from 1976 on a quad card. But I also have this. Got this nice Willie Randolph autograph from 2022 Topps Chrome Platinum. Actually pulled this out of my one of the hobby boxes I ripped last year. I do collect this set, and I was pretty happy to get this one. It's just a base auto, but I did not have a Randolph auto, and I was pretty happy that I pulled this one. I knew he was in the checklist, and if I hadn't pulled it, I was definitely gonna pick one up because pretty cheap. But I was thrilled to get this out of the pack. So that's all I got for today. I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. Again, walks and strikeouts for hitters. I like it when I see that hitters can walk more than strike out. And really the player today, in today's game, who's known for that is Juan Soto. So Juan Soto, hats off to you, and welcome to New York. We'll see how he does for the Yanks this year. But with that, have a great night, everyone, or day if you're watching us during the day. I'll see you on the next video. Take care.